Hello Virgo, my name is Matthew. Welcome to your reading. Without any further ado, I'm going to jump straight into the cards here. Looking first at your overall energy, you have this card, the archetype of the mother. Yeah, this is such a beautiful card, personally. It's one of my favorites. I really love it. And I think it's quite fitting to have specifically in a Virgo reading, because the way I imagine Virgo sometimes is like being a mini Mother Nature, like very much the whole essence of that whole world unto yourself, and specifically though the natural world. And yeah, so the archetype energy of the mother, she is, of course, we're all so familiar with that. We've all had one. We all have one, right? We had to exist here. And that she is archetypally the creator of all life and the sustainer. She's the nurturer. Of the entire natural physical world as we know it is birthed and nurtured through her being and her love and devotion. And she is also the archetype of the most pure form of non-sexual intimacy, in the sense that she forms such a deep, close bond with her children and is unconditionally loving and patient and forgiving and gentle with them, in her purest form. And not only, also in the highest expression of the mother archetype is a person whose love extends beyond just children or things or projects, ideas born of her own womb or their own creative source energy, but extends that love to all creation, all of life, all sentient beings, without really thought of do they deserve it or not, do they deserve being loved or not, right? In the eyes of a mother, everyone and everything that's been created is worthy of love. And I just really love the details of the art of this. So, her crown of flowers is so beautiful. And there's the tortoise at her feet, representing from the the very kind of ancient wisdom that comes passed down through her, as well as the gentle or the slow and patient approach that she has with the growth process of those under her nurturing care. And so also you have here the archetypal energy. You have the dolphin and the bear. So the dolphin I see as continuing on that message of the type of unconditional love. Like the dolphin for me is such like a high vibrational healing type of energy, and it's because of like the incredible amount of lightness of spirit and the love that they bring, and the playfulness and the innocence and the joy. And also you have the bear, which I'm getting two meanings from this. So this card often speaks about waking up from a hibernation and going into a new phase of life, like a some type of awakening going on. But also I'm getting, specifically in the context of the mother, like if you think that of the archetype of a mother bear, there's also another side of the mother. As much as she can be, gentle and loving and nurturing, it's also, on the other hand, can be very fiercely protective of those that are vulnerable. Yeah, so there's also that other side of the coin, that just because she's loving and gentle and nurturing doesn't mean that she's going to be easy to walk all over. She also can, if need be, defend herself and her offspring. And that's also among her power, her many powers. So the sense that I'm getting, though, combined with all three of these and then going into the story, though, is that this is going to be a more specific type of reading about an awakening sense, an awakening feeling of stepping into that motherhood role. Because also dolphins are, of course, they're famous for their sexuality as well, and that they're one of the only other animals that we know of that have sex for pleasure and for self-expression. Yeah. So with this first card here being the Lovers, that message I'm getting here, the first part of it is to say though it can be, of course, your heart can be big enough to love the whole world, to share your love unconditionally in that way, that also the other meaning of the Lovers, though, is that it's necessary in life to make choices, and every choice entails a certain sacrifice of other potential possibilities for that one particular choice to be manifest into a concrete form. So, while it may be that in the abstract you can spread your love universally, and well, in actuality you can do that, but in a practical sense, with your life choices, you do have to choose and limit who that you're having such close, intimate connections to, because you only have so much time and space in an individual life. So you have to be selective of who you're sharing that with. Who do you really want to form this bond with? Especially because here we're talking about the bond of a parenthood relationship. So, because I'm really getting the sense here, okay, I'm going to jump forward a little bit and then go back, but like I was saying, I was getting this feeling of sexuality from this dolphin card here, and these two together, of all the cards in this deck, when I see these two come out right next to each other, I really strongly get a message of sexual union, in the sense that this is, of course, the masculine and the feminine, and the man and the woman, and he is holding this ball of light, the seed of pure potential, pattern of creation, but it's unmanifest, and he can't do anything with it himself. It's only when it's put into a form, into a vessel, into a receptive a womb, that a woman is able to birth. And this is, of course, in a more literal sense of childbirth, right? Because if it's just that we were talking about a creative project or an idea that you can even as a man, you can be the own vessel, right, that for your creative expression, because we do have these energies in an archetypal way within us. But when it comes to the most 3D physical expression and the way that human babies are made, of course we've all learned about that. This video is not made for under 18 kids, so I'm sure that we're all well enough educated about this that I can just speak freely. And so she's the receptive container for this, and there's a message here about just, because right, like if you're choosing that partner that you're going to have that experience with, that you're going to have a kid with, that once you step into that situation, you can't go back from it. It's once you create that, it just goes on from there. So it can be it's a big choice to make, right? So that the card that's coming next is saying that there's no other way to go into it than just fully, like, with trust, just taking that leap. You're just completely trusting and diving into the experience, that it's going to be all positive, pink, rosy type of energy when you're landing into it, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this, because I'm really starting to get the sense of this is a reading talking specifically about pregnancy and having babies, and I'm not entirely sure if it's fully something you're planning on doing or not. But what I'm getting, though, is the sense of that there's something awakening within you. Like I said, there's this awakening thing, and this dolphin reminds me of the a higher force, a higher power, something about the divine intelligence. Okay, that's the other thought I had. So dolphins are also famous for their intelligence. So it's like that there's this divine intelligence that's awakening within you, which is starting to drive you in the direction that you're feeling, I think, like you want to make that choice. Some part of you wants to make that choice. I see that you're not entirely on the same page with yourself here. We'll get that in a moment. So, because it's like, it really is, okay, I'm going to cover this because it's not at all about laziness, but it's, I'm seeing here that this is speaking of your comfort zone, and then this is the mirror shattering behind this person, that, like, their entire comfort zone will be obliterated to pieces in just a moment here, and they don't even see it coming necessarily, but it's already being broken apart. So of course, becoming a mother or a father, especially if it's for the first time ever, especially if it's your first child ever, it's immensely transformative. It's completely, it changes your life beyond possible recognition and beyond your planning or understanding or ability to control. No matter how people try to plan for it, there's always curveballs to it, which I think is also why in this card with the mother, there's a butterfly here and also a butterfly in her crown, that there's representing the transformation that process brings you through. And it seems that your mind, in a mental level, you're having some conflict about it, internal conflict. Like, really, is this crazy? Like, why do I really want to go into this now? And or just in general having your guard up against it, right? You have some defenses and some armor on still, and there's some resistance to this idea still that of making such a radical life change. And that's just normal too. Completely understandable, right? Especially if it's especially if it's wasn't really in your plans necessarily. Like if you hadn't had the idea already in your mind, but then suddenly the feeling comes, like sometimes women get, for like they call it like baby fever. And well, it's like it's more of a biological thing and an emotional thing than a logical thing, and the mind just is sort of in a way pushed to adapt to it. But also I'm seeing that it could be, like I said, be with this bear and this dolphin, that there's a higher calling awakening in you. And I'm seeing that here with this inner voice as well. So there's also 2 dolphins on this card here. So it's like, and it's paired on the other side with this aloneness card. So it's like, if you stepping back from this fighting and this mental conflict, that if you really take the time to go alone, have alone time with yourself and reflect more deeply on this, is the Hermit in the tarot, which is like a card of really deep self-reflection, that when you reach to the truth of your inner voice, the truth of your higher self, of your soul, right? There will be these dolphins. This dolphin energy is what you should be aiming to connect to here. And I think that's where the idea is coming from in the first place. The push is coming from, so that the way to resolve yourself through this feeling of conflict and be able to reach a point where you really can just trust that you have to connect in with that deeper part of yourself that actually is connected with the Creator and is one with the divine plan, one with the larger picture that goes way beyond what the rational mind can see, way beyond the comfort zones of the ego and what is your known reality. And even what you think your current goals are, and you think like what's important to you at the moment. Yeah. And because the sense that I'm seeing here is that you'll actually want to plant the seed and see it grow. And it'll be a cause to celebrate. Oh, like, of course, right? Having a new child come into the world, we always consider that a cause to celebrate. Friends and family come together around this, and it's always such an exciting moment when new life is birthed into the world. So, for anyone out there who is already pregnant or planning to get pregnant soon, or maybe not planning but ends up getting pregnant soon anyway, and congratulations, whatever the case may be. Congratulations on your blessing. And I wanted to show you, I don't usually look at the bottom of the deck, but another reason why, on the bottom of the deck of this card I pulled the archetype out of here, there's these other 2 cards here. So there is the Maiden, which is the phase of life that a woman goes through before she becomes a mother, when she's in more of her youth, and she's like, her point of being is just to freely express herself and explore the world and explore her own self. And she directs her nurturing and creativity mostly inwards. And also, she, with this little white rabbit here, it's a a symbolism. She's also very open to exploring her sexuality, her just budding, her just flowering, newly flowering sexuality. And of course here we can see that very intimately. And yeah, that's how babies are made. So this is the way it happens. To just show it to you in a very artistic way. So, congratulations. And I think I'm going to leave your reading here. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, then all the details are in the description down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.